All right, we in Luke 21:20, where my second Shai is giving us a prophecy to look for. He said, and when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, what armies? The Roman armies, the so-called Italian Caucasian, with a superpower of earth, when he walked the earth, armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Know that Israel get ready to be destroyed. We as the Israelites get ready to be destroyed. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. When we flee to the mountains, I was fleeing into Africa. And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter therein. Don't come back. He's saying, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. See? But woe unto them that are with child. Say, destruction unto them that are pregnant and with child. And to them that give suck, that have babies in this time. In those days, it's saying. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, we the Israelites. When you understand, peep this. The Bible goes or is written until 65 AD. That's what he's talking about here. So from 65 AD to 70 AD, we had war with the Romans. That's what he's saying. But woe, destruction unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, those that have babies. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. You hear that? Wrath upon we the Israelites. And they shall fall by the sword, by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. Here we are, being scattered, as Deuteronomy 28:64 is saying. We're going to be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, these other nations, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And their time is just about up. You see. So we have to look at Matthew, the 2nd chapter, if we can, and verse 13. Let's look at let's go up, because like I said, you know, when the Messiah was born, angel came to Joseph and told him to take Mary and the child into Egypt, right, into Africa. Verse 12. And being warned of the Most High in a dream that they should not return to Herod, the wise men, they departed into their own country another way. Because he was trying to find out where Mashiach was to kill him. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Most High appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt. See, flee into Africa. And be thou there until I bring thee word to hide among the dark nations and amongst our people. We had provinces all in Africa, in Egypt and so forth. And be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him, to kill him. When he arose, he took the young child, of Mashiach Yahushua, and his mother by night, and departed into Egypt. It was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Most High by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son. See? Prophecy of where? The Old Testament. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth. This is a so-called white man. And sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem. You hear that? He sent forth and killed all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently acquired of the wise men. Killed all the babies 2 years old and under. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah, which is where in the Old Testament the prophet sang, in Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation, just crying and weeping and great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children. Rebecca weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not killed them. But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Most High appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and go into the land of Israel. But they are dead which sought the young child's life. And he arose and took the young child and his mother and came into the land of Israel. See? That's why you see these judgments. You got to come because of all the evil that's been done. Zechariah, the 3rd chapter. Zechariah, the 3rd chapter. Let's read verse 10. I think it's look at Zephaniah, Salakia. Zephaniah, 3rd chapter. And let's start at verse 10. It says, from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, which are the Israelites, we disperse among all these nations, shall bring mine offering. He said, in that day shalt thou not be ashamed for all thy doings, wherein thou hast transgressed against me. For then I will take away out of the midst of thee them that rejoice in thy pride. You're going to take out of the midst of us those that rejoice in their pride, in your pride. And thou shalt no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Most High, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, the remnant of Israel. The remnant of Israel, who is who? The 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies. Remember, those that's without will be those that love and maketh a lie. Nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Sing, O daughter of Zion, shout, O Israel, be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. The Most I have taken away thy judgments, he hath cast out thine enemy, the King of Israel, even the Most High, even though through Mashiach Yahushua is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt not see evil anymore. Does that sound beautiful? Thou shalt not see evil anymore. Thou shalt not see evil anymore. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, to us, fear thou not, and to Zion, to the 12 tribes of Israel, let not thine hands be slack. The Most High thy power in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. Can you imagine that? Wow. He will rejoice over us with singing. What kind of songs are those going to be? What kind of voice will he have? Wow. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach, the disgrace of it was a burden. Behold, at that time, I will undo all that afflict thee. It's going to be done away with. Ain't going to be no more affliction to the 12 tribes of Israel. And I will save her that halted. We at a halt, at a standstill. And gather her that was driven out. Like he said, he scatters among all these nations, right? And I will get them praise. What he say? He's going to get us praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you from all four corners of the earth, that he scatters in all these different lands. He say, at that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. For I will make you a name. How can we be destroyed if just what he say he's going to do? How can we be cast away forever? Just what he say he's going to do. Prophecy. At that time, he said he's going to get us praise and fame in every land where they have put us to shame. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you from all four corners of the earth that he scattered us in, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, said the Most High. Yeah, it's prophecy. Let's go to Jeremiah 30th chapter. And let's look at verse 2. Thus speaketh the Most High, power of Israel, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. That's why we can read it in the book of Jeremiah. But lo, the days come, said the Most High, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah. Most High's people, Israel, represent the northern tribes, 9 tribes, and the southern tribes, the 3 tribes, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Said the Most High, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. Remember he said, the Most High said in Isaiah 14:1, the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and choose Israel and set them in their own land. That's the Most High going to do. But lo, the days come, said the Most High power, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, said the Most High, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. See, it says, verse 8, for it shall come to pass in the future, in that day, said the Most High, power of hosts, power of armies, power of angels, that I will break his yoke. For the time that we in Jacob's trouble, like we in now, he gonna break the enemy's yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. We not gonna be a prey no more, but they shall serve the Most High power, their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, said the Most High, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar. Hear that? You see, Most High gonna save us from afar, like way over here in this western hemisphere. And I seed from the land of their captivity. How can we be done away if he gonna do this? And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest, like we read about in Isaiah, the 14th chapter, the 3rd verse. And be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with thee, said the Most High, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee. Hear what he said? Though I make a full end of all nations, that the Most High have scattered us among all these nations, whither I have scattered thee, Yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. That's why it said, the nations have not known the judgment of the Most High. We have, well, he gave us his laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why I say verse 16, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. So everyone that devour us as the children of Israel, the 12 tribes, is going to be devoured, it says. And all thine adversaries, all our enemies, every one of them shall go into captivity. Like it said, Isaiah 14:1 and 2. He said, every one of them, all our enemies, which is adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee, how can we be done away with if the Most High is saying this is the future? Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. And all thine adversaries, all our enemies, adversaries means enemies, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee. Since we sick, he gonna restore health unto us. And I will heal thee of thy wounds, said the Most High, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, this is the 12 tribes of Israel, this the chosen people of the Most High, whom no man seeketh after. Thus say the Most High power. Hear the word of the Most High. Behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places. Most High say you're going to have mercy on Jacob, and yet choose Israel and set us on our own land. Isaiah 14:1. And the city shall be builded upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. So how it's going to be built? How our city's going to be built? Isaiah, the 60th chapter, the 10th verse. And the sons of strangers. Select. And the sons of strangers. Who gonna build our palaces? Who gonna build our cities? And the sons of strangers. Isaiah 60:10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their king shall minister unto thee. But in my wrath I smote thee, the 12 tribes of Israel, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. That's why you go to Isaiah 14:1. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah. Those nations shall be utterly wasted. So all the nations that don't want to serve, we the 12 tribes of Israel, you're going to be utterly wasted. You're going to perish. You're going to be utterly wasted. Verse 14, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. And all they that despise thee, all you nations, your sons, all you nations that afflicted us, your sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. And all they that despise thee, all those that despised us, shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. And they shall call thee. Remember to tell you all 10 men gonna gather, cleave unto us, hold on to our hem of our garments, saying, we know that the Most High is with you. They're gonna bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Most High, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, you're going to tell me this, who is this besides us? Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, where's our banks, where's our corporations? We don't have that. Nobody's going through us to get anything. I will make thee an eternal excellency. That's going to last forever and ever and ever. an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. That's why I say, so they're going to bow down at the soles of their feet. That's why Mashiach Shai said in Revelation 2 and 9 and Revelation 3 and 9, look what he said. Revelation 2 and 9, Revelation 3 and 9. Revelation 2 and 9. I know thy works, talking to us, in tribulation, hell that we catch. That's why we just read it. You keep on reading Jeremiah 30th chapter, time of Jacob's trouble, tribulation, and poverty, ghettos and slums, always struggling, but thou art rich. How are we rich? With this truth. He said, and I know the blasphemy, the filthy wicked acts of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Those that say they are Jews, but they're not, they're the synagogue of Satan. Thus saith Mashiach Yahushua. Revelation 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, because we are the true ethnic and biblical Israelites, 12 tribes of Israel. All you got to do is ask the Jewish people to name the 12 tribes. And you'll find out. Because we just read about the gates. It said, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet. People that say they're going to bow down at our feet and to know that I have loved thee. Thus say the Most High. Isaiah 49:23. Isaiah 49:23. You're going to bow down at our feet. What is Isaiah 49:23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth. And do what? And lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Most High. When this happened, you got to know this the power of the Most High. Not nothing that we done to deserve them to kiss our feet. He's saying, you shall know that I am the Most High, but they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. Shall the prey be taken from the mighty? We the prey. Remember, say they praying on us. We the prey. Shall the prey be taken from the mighty? Shall we be taken from those that have in captivity, slavery, and bondage, or oppressor? Listen to what it said. Or the lawful captive delivered. The lawful captive delivered. The lawful captive delivered. The ones that's keeping the Most High's law is going to be delivered. Proverbs 14:19. Proverbs 14:19. The evil bow before the good. You hear that? The evil bow before the good. And the wicked at the gates of the righteous. See, they're going to, remember, our gates going to be open day and night. That they may bring the forces of the Gentiles to our gates. They're not going in. They can't go in. But they're gonna bring whatever they have to our gates. And because they can't come in. They can't come into the city, into the gates. Remember, we got angels on each gate. And it's for the 12 tribes of Israel. Excuse me. So let's look at Matthew 24 and 9. So you're seeing that with all that's said, we have to be there to fulfill what it is that he says he's going to do with we the children of Israel, we the 12 tribes of Israel. Look at what Mashiach Shai said in Matthew 24 and 9. He said, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. See, we rolling. How? In the name of the anointed Savior. I start with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Give me thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So we say you're going to be hated of all nations for his name's sake. And then shall many be offended, like a lot of y'all probably offended with this lesson, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Hear that? Many going to be offended, you're going to betray one another and hate one another. Because you're wicked. And ain't no righteousness in you. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many, because they operating with the devil. Remember, with the devil's, his job is what? To deceive the whole nation. And to deceiving the nations, that's why you got to be aware of witchcraft, sorcery. That's how you deceiving the whole nations. Why you can show somebody a picture, I can't believe it. Year in and year out, year in and year out, year in and year out, I've showed that last of a picture and say, show me what you see in that picture. And no one ever have identified there's only 5 people in that picture, ever. That's sorcery. That's witchcraft. You know, I thought about that. I said they must have something that they dealing with on a high level of witchcraft. Why our people can't see certain things that you read the Bible, they can't see it. And now the Spirit showed me through the power of the Most High that it is. Through their sorceries, it said they deceived all the nations, including we as the 12 tribes of Israel as a nation. Well, we got to look into how am I deceived? How have they deceived us? That's why I'm showing you B-A-A-L is L-O-R-D. So when y'all saying it, y'all calling on B-A-A-L. That L-O-R-D. When you saying G-O-D, I just showed you a picture in the Bible that says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And they got their picture there representing them. Where they took what we called them and they reversed it to G-O-D instead of D-O-G. They came with G-O-D, and now here it is. You calling on them, regardless of how you look at it. And don't tell me that the Most High know your heart. Don't let him visit you. He visited me when I tried to say A-H-A-M-A-N at the end of my prayer. But some of y'all, maybe y'all don't. Most of y'all don't know you like that yet. You can't talk about it and not be about it. You better hear what I'm saying. Because these are the last days, and he going to get him a name. He going to show up and show out. More and more and more. You're going to see it. You say, and many false prophets, these pork chop eating preachers shall rise. And wicked Israelite preachers too. Priests or whatever they call themselves, or whatever we want to call ourselves. Say, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. So who's the deceiver? Who is it that job is to deceive the whole world? The devil. So you're going to have devils rising up and shall deceive many. Y'all better be aware. Y'all over here, y'all over there, next thing you know, you've been deceived. Because they say, and many false prophets shall rise up in this earth and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, that's wickedness shall be plentiful in this earth, the love of many shall wax cold. People cold-blooded. That's why y'all don't have no true love and compassion. Even have mercy and grace on your brothers and sisters. Most I say, hey, the mercy and grace is to his saints. That's the 12 tribes of Israel. But here you are with your mean spirit, not having love and compassion. He said, if at all possible, be at peace with all men. That's we the Israelites, first and foremost. Because we've been programmed by Willie Lynch and the religious instruction of the Negroes and Stockholm Syndrome to hate each other. Smile and grin like a chessy cat in front of the enemies. But when it comes down to your brother, you're looking at him like you're going to put him to death. That's sad, man. Then it tells you our own prophets pity us not in Jacob's trouble. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. Because they operating with the devil. And because iniquity shall abound, wickedness in this world shall be plentiful, the love of many shall wax cold. A lot of people, they cold-blooded. But he that shall endure unto the end, you got to endure to the end, the same shall be saved. You got to endure to the end to be saved out of this madness that we've been put in, that the Most High told us going to put us in for not keeping his laws, statutes, commandments. The same thing that these false prophets are saying that we not under. We don't have to follow. Then you have those that know and still being wicked as ever. Listen. Go to Psalms, the 49th chapter. No. Psalms, the 44th chapter. And verse 9. But thou hast cast off and put us to shame, and goeth not forth with our armies to fight for us. So we didn't go outside and cast us off. He had cast us off and put us to shame, and goeth not forth with our armies. Thou makest us to turn back from the enemy, and they which hate us spoil for themselves. We fought from 65 to 70 AD though, but this was fulfilled. Thou makest us to turn back from the enemy. That's why Master Shai said, flee into Africa. When you see the city compassed with armies, the Roman armies. Thou makest us to turn back from the enemy. Because every time we went to captivity, we fought. But the Most High gonna fulfill his word. Because we didn't follow his law, statutes, commandments. We broke his commandments. Therefore, it's telling you. But thou hast cast off, verse 9, and put us to shame, and goeth not forth with our armies. As we fighting the enemies, not to go into captivity, slavery, and bondage. Thou makest us to turn back from the enemy. The Most High is doing this. And they which hate us spoil for themselves. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen, as it is written. Thou sellest thy people for naught, selleth us, the 12 tribes of Israel, for nothing, and does not increase thy wealth by their price. Thou makest us a reproach, a disgrace to our neighbors. This is what we did. Most High fulfilling his word. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Just look at how we do it. They got World Star. Look at how we act. Bunch of degenerates, man. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, and shaking of the head among the people. They just shake their head at us. Look at them. Look how they act. My confusion is continually before me. And the shame of my face have covered me. For the voice of him that reproaches and blasphemes by reason of the enemy and avenger. All this has come upon us, we the 12 tribes of Israel. All this has come upon us. Yet have we not forsaken thee, forgotten thee. Neither have we dealt falsely in thy covenant. That's the righteous. That still had to go through this punishment, Jacob's trouble, over and over again behind the wicked. Captivity after captivity after captivity. All this has come upon us. Yet have we not forgotten thee. Neither have we dealt falsely in thy covenant. Our heart, our minds is not turned back, neither have our steps declined from thy way. Though thou hast sore broken us in the place of dragons, and covered us with the shadow of death. That's why I say the dragon, the beast, the devil, the Satan, the old serpent, all of them the same entity of wickedness and evil. If we have forgotten the name of our power, which most of you have, while y'all using G-O-D, y'all using L-O-R-D, B-A-A-L, and some of you know it and still gonna do it. Or stretched out our hands to a strange idol. Shall not the Most High search this out? Don't you think he gonna know this? Don't you think he gonna recognize this? Shall not the Most High search this out? Well, he knoweth the secrets of the heart. He knoweth the secrets of the mind. That's why I gotta go into it. I quoted it. Let me find it. Hallelujah. When you open up the Bible and you go right there, that's the Most High. About so much it goes. Ecclesiastes 23:19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. That's why it's telling you. In verse 21 of Psalms 44, shall not the Most High search this out? Shall not the Most High search these things out? For he knoweth the secrets of the heart. So the Most High, he knows the secrets. The heart is the mind, right? And once he know the secrets of people, what people think you don't see me, people, then what does he do? Once he see your secrets, then he comes forth and does this. Amos 3:7. Surely the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto who? His servants, the prophets. You see? So them little birdies gonna come through and tell on you when you think nobody's seeing you. And spirit within the fall into the hands of living power. Especially when you're dealing with those that are living their life for the Most High. Understand and overstand this. Isaiah 49:5. Isaiah 49:5. And now, said the Most High, that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. Though Israel be not gathered, though we not gathered together, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Most High, and my power shall be my strength. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob, and the restored, the preserved of Israel. That's another name for the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel, preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. So we got to be a light to our brothers and sisters. First and foremost, what do they call themselves? Gentiles. We got to be a light unto these Gentiles. The Israelites that call themselves Gentiles. Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, verse 27. Deuteronomy 4, 27. Deuteronomy 4:27. And the Most High shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Most High shall lead you. Right? Verse 30. When thou art in tribulation, as we are in Jacob's trouble, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, that we in the last days, yo. If thou turn to the Most High thy power, and shall be obedient unto his voice. We got obedient, be obedient to the voice. From a voice come the words of the Most High. Then we're going to be blessed. But if not, then we're going to continue to be dealt with the wicked, which is the Most High sword. How about that? Look at 2 Chronicles, the 7th chapter, and verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, which is contrary to being prideful, humble themselves and pray and seek my face, as he hid his face from us, and turn from their wicked ways. Talking about we ain't under the law of the Most High. Turn from your wicked ways. Then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land. Now mine eyes shall be open. Remember, his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and the secret parts too. Now mine eyes shall be open, and mine ears attend unto the prayer that is made in this place. For now have I chosen and sanctified this house, King Solomon saying, that my name may be there forever. That the Most High's name may be in this house forever. And mine eyes and mine heart shall be there perpetually. And as for thee, if thou wilt walk before me, as David thy father walked, King Solomon, that you're going to walk before the Most High as David, when the Most High said David was a man after his own heart, his own mind, which shall fulfill all his ways, and do according to all that I have commanded thee, and shall observe my statutes and my judgments, then will I establish the throne of thy kingdom according as I have covenanted with David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man to be ruler in Israel. But this condition, if ye turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods, which he did, and worship them, then will I pluck them up by the roots out of my land which I have given them. And this house which I have sanctified for my name will I cast out of my sight. That happened. It will make it to be a proverb and a byword among all nations. And this house, which is high, shall be an astonishment to every one that passes by it. They will be looking at, wow, what happened to that house? So that he shall say, why has the Most High done thus unto this land and unto this house? And it shall be answered, because they forsook the Most High power of their fathers. Who is that? The Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, which brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. All 12 tribes were in the Egyptian captivity, come out of the Egyptian captivity into the wilderness, where he gave us his laws and laid hold on other gods. See that? Other religions, as we will look at today, and worship them and serve them. Therefore hath he brought all this evil upon them. Go back to 2 Chronicles 6 and 26. When the heaven is shut up and there is no rain, because they have sinned against thee, praying to the Most High. We have sinned as the Israelites have sinned against the Most High, yet if they pray toward this place, toward the east, and confess thy name, and turn from their sin, when thou dost afflict them, because he told us he's going to go to his place until we acknowledge our offense and seek his face. In our affliction, we're going to seek him early. Hosea 5:15. When thou, that's the Most High, does afflict us, afflict them, then hear thou from heaven, and forgive the sin of thy servants, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, and thy people Israel. When thou hast taught them the good way, which is to keep the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, wherein they should walk, and send rain upon thy land, that's blessings, which thou hast given unto thy people for an inheritance. He said, if there be dearth in the land, if there be pestilence, there be famine, there be pestilence, diseases and plagues, if there be blasting or mildew, locusts or caterpillars, if their enemies besiege them in the cities of their land, whatsoever sore or whatsoever sickness there be, then what prayer or what supplications crying to the Most High soever shall be made of any man or of all the people of Israel, when every one shall know his own sore and his own grief, and shall spread forth his hands in this house, then hear thou from heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive, and render unto every man according unto all his ways, whose heart, whose mind thou knowest. For thou only knowest the hearts of the children of men, the minds of the children of men, that they may fear thee, that they may fear thee, that they may fear the Most High, to walk in thy ways, so long as they live in the land which thou gavest unto our fathers. He continued this prayer. Let's jump to verse 36. If they sin against thee, but there is no man that which sinneth not, and thou be angry with them, and deliver them over before their enemies, and they carry them away captives unto a land far off or near. Yet, if they rethink themselves, we rethink ourselves in our captivity, in a land whither they are carried captive, like we here in this land as captives, and turn and pray unto thee in the land of their captivity, saying, we have sinned, we have done amiss, and have dealt wickedly. If they return to thee with all their heart and with all their soul, and in the land of their captivity that we're in, scattered among these four corners of the earth and all these different lands among the heathen, whither they have carried them, O captives, and pray toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, and toward the city which thou hast chosen, facing the east, and toward the house which I have built for thy name, then hear thou from the heavens, even from thy dwelling place, their prayer and their supplications, and maintain their cause, and forgive thy people which have sinned against thee. Now, when you understand, he praying that, but you must understand this. Isaiah 55:8, Most High said, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts." What he said, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts." That's King Solomon sending up prayers to the Most High. That's his thoughts. He said, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways," said the Most High. "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither when it come down, but watereth the earth, and maketh it spring forth and bud, all the crops to grow, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." So we know that we done went through a lot. So it's scripture says people are praying to themselves. Hosea ain't hearing them. That's why he said, go to Proverbs. One of my favorites. Proverbs 1:7. It says, "The fear of the Most High, to be afraid of the Most High, to be scared of the Most High, is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom." You can't tell them nothing, and instruction. You can't tell them nothing. A fool, you can't tell a fool nothing. They don't want to hear this. That's why he got something for you. Say verse 22. "How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?" How long, you simple ones, you love simplicity? "And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge." See? A fool not going to want to study to show themselves approval to the Most High, to understand what it's going to take for them to make it to the kingdom that we done seen completely in this lesson, knowing that we ain't cast out, but you seen what we did to ourselves. We did it all to ourselves. Isaiah 1:3. It said, "The ox know of his owner." The ox know of his owner. And the ass